Hello, welcome to PowerLearn Science and Maths TV. In this video, I'm going to talk about Introduction to Chemistry. Now, before I get into this lesson, for those of you taking chemistry in the high school, I want you to know that this video is one of the videos on the series I'm starting on chemistry, where I'll get to explain various concepts of chemistry and topics of chemistry from year 10 to year 12. And so I believe this video and subsequent videos of this series will be very helpful to high school students taking chemistry. Alright, let's get into this video. I want you to pause for a moment and critically look at the items displayed on the screen. I believe these are items we've seen before because they are found in our environment. Our homes are full of items like this. Now, I want to ask you this, that have you ever wondered how these items came about? Have you wondered how these items even work? Have you wondered how? I believe there is one field of study which can explain the existence or how these items came about. And this field of study is chemistry. Chemistry explains a lot of things that we see in our environment, how they work, how they came about. It's chemistry. Let's take a look at photosynthesis, which is the process by which plants make food. Photosynthesis is simply about chemistry, where the plants combine carbon dioxide, water, and energy from the sun to make food. And that is a chemical reaction. Let's take a look at digestion of food substances we take in. It's chemistry because when you take in food, enzymes in our digestive tracts feed on this food and by so doing, digest this food. Now, the action of enzymes on the food substances we take in is chemistry because it is a chemical reaction. Let's take a look at things like detergents. How do you think they even came about? It was produced through a process called saponification, which is chemistry. Saponification is actually the process whereby soaps are made. It's saponification. Have you also wondered how water is treated for it to be drunk? It's chemistry, because in the process of purification of water, there is a process called chlorination, where chlorine is added to the water, which takes care of germs in the water based on the source of the water. So, chemistry explains a whole lot of things around us. Even there are so many things that happens in our homes that, with or without our knowledge, is based on chemistry. So, chemistry explains a lot of things around us. Now, generally, science is made up of 3 divisions, which are physics, chemistry, and biology. Now, among these 3 divisions of science, chemistry is seen as the central science. And the reason is because chemistry links these 2 other divisions of science. For example, chemistry relates to physics through physical chemistry. And chemistry relates to biology through biochemistry. Now, what this means is that concepts in physics and biology, some can be explained using chemistry. There are a lot of concepts in physics which can be explained using basic knowledge of chemistry. So, chemistry is seen as the central science. The first reason is that it links the other two divisions of science. Then also, it is extensively connected to other fields of study. For example, in the mineral industry, the principle of chemistry is used to extract minerals like gold from rock samples. In the geological industry, the concept of chemistry is used to identify oil and mineral deposits. Astronomers use the principles of chemistry. Geography applies the principle of chemistry to even determine the age of ancient materials through a process called carbon-14 dating. So, chemistry is found all over. So, I believe that chemistry is actually the foundation of the other branches of science because it cuts across. The basic knowledge of chemistry cuts across everywhere. Now, what is chemistry? I believe to answer what chemistry is, we must first of all know what matter is. What is matter? Now, matter is simply anything which has mass and occupies a space. In other words, matter is anything which has mass and volume. And examples of matter include, you can talk of your calculator. You can also talk of your textbook. You can talk of water. You can talk of stone, etc. All these are examples of matter because they have mass, because when you weigh them, you can know their mass. And when you put them down, they occupy a particular volume or a particular space. So that makes them matter. Now, why do we have to know matter before we can explain what chemistry is? The reason is because there is a relationship between chemistry and matter, because chemistry is all about matter. You see, so chemistry is defined as a branch of science which deals with the study of the composition, the structure, and properties of matter, and the various changes matter undergoes. So, chemistry does four things. Chemistry helps us to know the composition, the structure, the properties, and the various changes matter undergoes. So if these four things are in place, then we are talking about chemistry. An example is, let's take a look at water. If we study about the composition of water, and we also study about its structure, and we also study about its properties, and finally, the various changes it undergoes, then we are studying the chemistry of water. For example, the composition of water is hydrogen and oxygen. It is made up of hydrogen and oxygen. the structure of water is this, a vein shape. Well, I will explain this later on. Then properties of water, like water is tasteless, water is odorless, then changes that water undergoes. You know, water can exist in 3 states. Water can be in a liquid. Now we can transform water from its liquid state to a solid state. Then we can also transform to gaseous states. So all these are changes that water undergoes. And so when we are studying the composition, the structure, properties, and changes that matter undergoes, then we are talking about chemistry. Now, there are 2 main divisions of chemistry. One is pure chemistry. Now, nature is full of matter. Nature is full of matter. So, anytime we study the matter that we are surrounded with, the items we are surrounded with, so that we understand nature better, then that is an aspect of chemistry called pure chemistry. So pure chemistry is simply the study of matter to gain knowledge so as to understand nature better. That is pure chemistry. So knowledge gained through the study of matter so that we understand nature better is what we call pure chemistry. Now, pure chemistry has 4 main branches, which are organic chemistry, inorganic chemistry, physical chemistry, and analytical chemistry. So I'm going to take a look at organic chemistry. Now, what is organic chemistry? Now, the word organic means natural. So another word or another name for organic chemistry is natural chemistry. Now, in natural chemistry, we are studying natural compounds. And what are natural compounds? Remember, natural compounds are also called organic compounds. Now, organic compounds or natural compounds are simply compounds containing predominantly carbon. So, organic chemistry is the study of organic or carbon compounds, where organic compounds are compounds containing predominantly carbon. Now, this is not to say that any compound made up of carbon is organic compound. No. We'll talk about this later. But for now, I want you to know that the study of organic compounds is what we call organic chemistry. Now, what are some of the examples of organic compounds? Like the glucose, it's organic compound. Like sugar, organic compound. Protein, organic compound. We can also talk of something like gases such as methane, also ethane. All these are organic compounds because they are predominantly made up of carbon. Now, the second branch of pure chemistry is inorganic chemistry. Now, generally, anything that is not organic is inorganic. And inorganic is the same as artificial. So we can call this artificial chemistry. So for artificial chemistry, we are just studying compounds that are made artificially. All right? Compounds that can be produced in the laboratory. You know, chemists can combine one or two elements and they can produce different substances. All right, so that becomes artificial. Now, so inorganic chemistry talks about the study of elements and the various compounds they form. All right, so if we are interested in the various compounds formed by elements, it's inorganic chemistry. All right, so for example, if I take a look at carbon, all right, and then I take keen interest in the various compounds carbon can form, then I'm talking about inorganic chemistry. All right. So carbon can form compounds like carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, methane, ethane. All right. These are some of the compounds that carbon can form. All right. So if we take a look at elements and the various compounds they form, that is called inorganic chemistry. And once again, this will be treated later in the series. Then the third branch is what we call physical chemistry. Now, physical chemistry is an aspect of chemistry where we are interested in the physical aspect of chemistry. In the physical aspect of chemistry. What are some of the physical aspects of chemistry? Like boiling point, like solubility, whether a substance dissolves or not, like melting point. All these things are physical aspects of chemistry. So that makes up physical chemistry. So for physical chemistry, we are simply talking about the behavior of materials. All right, the behavior of material, or the study of the effects of the structure of substances on their physical property. So that also gives us physical chemistry. Now, the last branch of pure chemistry is what we call analytical chemistry. So the word analytical here comes from the word analysis. So for analytical chemistry, we are talking about chemistry that is full of analysis. Chemistry that aims at performing analysis. All right, so for analytical chemistry, it's a branch of pure chemistry which is into separation, identification, and quantification of matter. An example is, let's say, I have this solid. And I want to know what this solid is made up of. Let's say the solid is made up of these elements. I want to know what this solid is made up of. All right. So that is the identification part. Now, after knowing what this substance is made up of, I now want to know how much of the elements that makes up the solid. All right. So for analytical chemistry, we want to know the substances, or let's say the elements that make up a substance, and then the quantity of those elements that make up the substance. Another example is, so we have, let's say I have water. I want to know what water is made up of. So water is made up of hydrogen and is made up of oxygen. So that is the identification part of analytical chemistry. It doesn't end there. Now I want to move on further and know how much of hydrogen do I have in water and how much of oxygen do I have in water. So when I do this, that is analytical chemistry. Now, analytical chemistry is mostly applied to know whether someone is carrying marijuana or a drug that is harmful. All right, so it is used in forensics. where items, or let's say element, or the various composition of a substance are determined. So these four constitute the branches of pure chemistry. Now, the second division of chemistry, remember I said there are two major divisions: pure chemistry and now applied chemistry. Now, applied chemistry is simply, it comes from the word applied, and applied simply means what? Application. You are applying something. So applied chemistry is a branch or a division of chemistry which involves the application of the knowledge obtained from pure chemistry to solve problems. All right, so pure chemistry helps us to gain knowledge to understand nature better. Applied chemistry helps us to apply the knowledge obtained from pure chemistry to solve problems. Right, to solve problems. So application of chemistry principles to solve problems is what you call applied chemistry. Now, let's look at some areas in the world where knowledge of chemistry is applied. Biochemistry is one area where we apply chemistry. Biochemistry is simply the application of chemistry principles to study living things. As biochemistry. Then medicine. Medicine is an area where chemistry principles are applied a lot, especially in the production of wide range of pharmaceutical products or drugs. Then we can also look at area like agriculture. Now, we apply knowledge of chemistry to produce pesticides, which aids in pest control, and also to produce fertilizers. All right. Then another area is clothing and textiles. Clothing and textiles. This is also another area where we apply chemistry, where the knowledge of chemistry is used to produce materials like nylon, polyester. Right? So that will be the end for this lesson. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next lesson. In the next lesson, we'll be talking about nature of matter. So we'll take a look at matter into details. Please don't miss the next lesson. Thank you once again for watching this video, and please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and leave a comment in the comment section. And once again, don't forget to recommend this video to anyone taking high school chemistry.